Good morning to everybody and most respected chief guest today, Madam Lakshmi, and resource persons of the dais, the faculty colleagues, research scholars across the country. Even we are talking about today, we are always talking of research, institute and interaction. In higher education, the University Grant Commission as well as the Education Department, both India and Tamil Nadu government, they are insisting on creating more and more awareness about the ethical research aspects for higher education system. But my point of view of working of professor and head School of Management, Alagappa University, very prestigious university in Tamil Nadu, A plus score 3.64. Because of that accreditation for a 7 years period continued because of that research institute and interaction for industry oriented. Among this, the 8-point criteria and categories. The previous speakers are talking about this, the plagiarism and all, and the basic necessities of these researchers as well as the academicians. My area is always to focus. I am thinking and listening for the past 1.5 hours and move to this and the research and publication ethics. It is most important for today this event. Ultimately, what you are going to do for this research? Normally, as a student, you ask, they have studied for research methodology and they are focusing on this, whatever may be the area in which to focus, either science or education or arts or social science or management studies. It depends. But ultimately, that the research is a common phenomena and platform, is a crucial pillar for developing of this research to coin this research on this topic normally. Either it may be for education part or it may be for science part, the research is a common ultimately. When you talk about this management, we have different theories. In particularly ethical leaderships, there are so many authors in abroad, they created. In organizational behavior, there are so many theories. When move to this finance, the corporate finance, they have a theory. So whenever you have to equip themselves from the theory, then you have to carry out and to apply for some kind of statistical matrix. The matrix may be to be picked up in some other standard referred textbook as well as the journals. When you're talking about for the UGC system, maybe for some kind of my observation may be not that much of good, because there may be some kind of guidelines, but the UGC care and UGC approved list of journals, very well, it's exclusively for social science researchers. Once you have to publish, the next day the journal is not there on that list, because they have to updating and making money. So once you have to pay, so many of the speakers are pointing out commonly. So my intention always like this, when you are come to this, so we are focusing for this research as well as this idea. From this slide, that research we have to focus. Some other we have to pointing out the research has to see and what everybody else has been to see in this and to think about this. Ultimately, what you are going to your thought. Some others has to quoted, but what you have to think. Some kind of attitude is measured in different ways. That attitude may be different. That quality and quantity research we have to differ. From this area, we have to derive from this area, then you have to differ. Isn't it? So this normally you have to use. The basic needs of research we have to see. Imagination. The imagination of this highest, this form of the research They said Albert Einstein is point out this imagination. Imagination, what you have to think over it, maybe for discovering or maybe idea or uncovered things. We have to some kind of strategies we have to work out. Imagination, some kind. So imagination from as a researcher as well as the supervisor guide, you have to create a model. They have to copy any other article, any other material, any other textbook. That kind of imagination you have to create it yourselves. So whenever I have to approach and I admit so many, Vios examiner, I acted as so many Vios examiner, I looked into this. What is your models? For the PhD Vios examiner, immediately ask from the question myself, what is your models? How you are going to create a model yourself, not for any other textbook, not any other material. Like that I am asking for this. So this is we have to require for this the purpose for you have to see these research activities. The problem analysis, then you have to see that the problems analysis for solution. So what type of problems you have to analyze and find the solution. Normally, these are normal things everybody researchers should knowing. Identify the problems, how you are going to analyze, what is the come to the solution. So that is for managerial implications of the research. Normally we have to see managerial implications of the research for any topic, any title. I don't want to touch on that part. So how you are identifying the problem. So from that problem you derive this research question. Even this for you are submitting for research proposal, I have to, for my service, I got 5 projects from UGC, and then we have to, ICSR as well as RUSA granted from this, MHRD, New Delhi, so nearly 40 lakhs. And also, I received UGC Research Award in the year 2015 and 17. As a social science researcher, I got 35 lakhs. From this my own area, specialized in CSR and corporate governance for social needs of Indian companies, like that. So how you are going? I am getting that funded project only because of to identify the research problem in a unique nature. Don't compare the any other material, any other things. So what this need for society? So society, how they are going to develop their society needs from these CSR activities of Indian companies. So this is I am working as a Department of Corporate Secretaryship. So I focus on this area. This problem, how you are going to obtain this, the problem analysis and solution. So from this problem, then you have to derive the research problem. Okay, so ultimately how you are going to get the solution. So this is a case for normally you have to do the research. Next, what makes a good research? So we have to move to this topic and narrower, focus and research question. So topic is most important, essential. Nowadays many of the research that they are doing for consumer satisfaction, customer satisfaction, consumer perception, customer perception. What about that rest of the research areas we have to focus? So you have to think the new things you have to. In our side, for this management focus, the latest things, the fintech technology. Fintech, so financial technology you have to move to. Okay, so to new things we have to, whenever you have to come to these new things, GST maybe as a focus, GST, then we have to move to this for all that process, culture, digital, platform, like that. So the topic in which selection, don't copy some other work. That is most important. There is a plagiarism, we are talking about the plagiarism, but we have to, certain things we have to refer. For example, in a review of literature, where you are going to get somebody maybe for, obtained, awarded, and some articles, some referred articles. From this review of literature, then you have to derive. So this is required, but how much you are, what is your uniqueness of the work, which is chosen and identified, that is important. So that is lacking the beginner then you have to develop for this researcher, and research supervisor is a 2T2 kite. So we have to focus on this. Then we have to, what are the research question? The research question you have to convert it into hypothesis. That is important focus. Move to next. The research must lead to, we have to see that one by one for this generating, fresh knowledge, so discovering, undiscovering knowledge, and for, using existing knowledge, because you have to read something, then you have to obtain another things, and to extend of the lead to for creating what is the outcome, as well as the predictions, what kind of the analysis you have to research. That is always comes under this, what is say, that chapterization we have to update. Normally in our university we have to we have common instruction, you have to come across 7 to 8 chapters for every thesis work. So we have to, but some other things, no, analysis, interpretation and data, the accumulation of all these things more than for 180 pages, okay. But what is the ultimate objective? What is the result? No. So that is a case that because of that lapse and gaps of some of the researchers, then you have to pinpointed and to rectify all these things by way of experience you are getting. So that is the most important. As a learner, as a beginner, we have some kind of things we have to losing. But in the meantime, after this, you keep your knowledge day by day, and this years to come, you have some kind of, updating new idea and new generation focus on this research. So this is, we have to, the questions for further inquiries we have to require. Even this, questionnaire is most important tools for collection of data. So nobody can touch on this part, but we have to, many of the research work is irrelevant to questionnaire, irrelevant. What these objectives are focused, it is most important. From this objective, then you have to derive this questionnaire. Because of, there may be trial and error methods also you have to use. There are so many textbooks and articles, they have standard books are there. Then you have to read. As you have to advise the scholar, research scholars, nearly 6 months period, you have to update this, so theoretical background. After that, moving to this. When I was a student in 1995, my supervisor not immediately given the topic. No, 6 months, nearly 6 months. So you have to read and read. And that time there is no for this much of what is say updation, internet updation. No. So everything you have to for handwriting for nearly 250 pages only for handwriting uses at that time. So you have to reach for meeting and discussing meeting, then finally come to the conclusion whether he is more interested or not. So interesting is important. Interesting of the scholars. I am going to nowadays entirely changed. The topic which is chosen for this conference, this award ceremony, seminar on good academic research practice is good. But the young budding researchers, they immediately go to ask the topic, and to that period, 2 years or 3 years, you are going to submit. What is the learning of this process? Totally 0%. Then you have to see that awarding this PhD degree, because the surveys is stated nowadays, young researchers, the percentage will be moved to 80%. More awareness about this, about this all educational system, either may faculty of education, management, arts, sciences, because of more awareness. But even the government also to provide funding for these projects. Then you have to ready to guide and to award this doctorate degree, like that is going on. Some kind of mission work is going on nowadays. Go to this next. So what is the most pressing need for research today competitive world? So to the right thing. So I am talking about this right things you are doing. Okay, so the right things how you are going to, because of your attitude as a research supervisor and then the head of department, among these fellow 7 faculty members under my control. But I am always saying this. Okay, don't be hurry. Then you have to check this point one by one. then finally you bring to this me. Because all these things, all formalities you have to check whether it is already you have to avoid the topic you will chosen. It is unique in nature because of our department is corporate secretaryship. You are focused on the corporate field. Like that, I giving this guidance to do my young teachers as well as scholars like this. So this is how to do the right thing. Right thing in the sense you always focus on this our area domain. Right. Next. So the most important thing is ethics. Research and publication ethics is most important for this purpose, because research and public ethics in social sciences, we have the UGC, you have to, is updated. Paper 1 for research methodology, second one that the professional of competencies, and the third score area for that two focus areas, specialized areas, and fourth one, most important, research and publication ethics in social science is most important. Research. So they have to focus on this. Why I am saying this? This is for always to focus on this, what is say, publications. Publications in the sense of it is a crucial pillar and most important for that every research, funding researchers, you have to publish a corpus indexed journal or social science indexed journal, that UGC cares or peer reviewed journal. Peer reviewed. Many of the speakers spoke about this area. I don't want to touch again. So these ethical aspects of understanding research, it is most important. Ethical aspects of understanding research, then managing scientific contact. Scientific approach is most important for every researcher. Scientifically, even in social science also, we have to prove in a scientific manner. So that is either a quantitative or qualitatively, you have to prove this your research. So that is what you are going to do for that policy makers. Suppose you are research for this particular area, what you want to say this policy maker to the government. So that is a research ultimately as a social research. But sciences, I do not know why you are doing for that social science, and other area which has to focus is entirely different. But when you focus on social science, you have to give this scientific manner in which to prove yourselves. Then enhancing this citation for using research practices. Citation is most important. Citation, enhancing citations using for research practices. So in my citation for I have Google Scholar, I have research kit also, but very late I have to update my all these research papers in my Google Scholar. My index for only 5, because but citation is nearly 100. Okay, compared to all other faculty, because this management we are very rarely known. But science area, science faculty, they have already updated whatever the journals are published for this all corpus oriented. But in social science, very difficult to know. But it required a 6 months, 1 year period. Even though we have to publish and you have to learn this part. Citation for because of open access publishing alone, we are moving to for citation. Open access. That is only case we have to use for this open access. Then only there is others, researchers and guides, research supervisors, they are going to move into for publications and to search the information and updating their own. So that is a citation for open access public. That publications is important for that the researcher. Then only now you have to see that the vice chancellor is even appointment also, that seeing for Google Scholar index. There they have to determine this vice chancellor appointment in Tamil Nadu, in all over India, either discipline. So that is important for Kutch index nowadays. High index system. They focus on this all this paperwork. Even though they have to provide this rating, the rating has to be then compete with friends and other fellow faculties. So this is most important for publications for open access publishing. It's important to point out this. So selection a journal for publication. Selection of journal for publication is another important thing. APTC journals AP, Australia-based system. Journals are there. There is a high impact journal as well as peer-reviewed journal. In India, we have so many peer-reviewed journals also there. You have to identify the journal, then you have to focus without paying money. It's most important. Without paying any, the payment, free access is most important. Then only more value, and others are using our papers. Then you have to update automatically. The individual index will be increased only because of the pre-published journals. That is most important. If you pay the journal, it will be updated, but pre-dated journals also. So this another important thing is mapping your research in social science. It is most important for that where you were. Okay. So ultimately that you are focusing assistant professor from associate, you have to move to associate, and you have to see that mapping your research activities. Then associate to professor also you have to see that your values and all. Then professor to senior professor you have to move into this, see what level you have to. So this is required for that each individual. Once you enter for that research institute for teaching, fraternity for teaching and research and all other external activities. Next. Move to this. So this is for individual. I discussed about this. Human dignities, privacy, duty to inform, consent and obligation of to notify. All these things you have to focus on this. When the church is available, no issue at all. Come to this conclusion. No need. All these things available. This what you say that UGC Kailash, no need. So this is a forum for intellectual forum. Everybody should know. Then you have to church the cool is update. But ultimately this forum what is learned, then you have to as a friends, all are professionals, academicians, then you have to see that where you were. Because you are talking about this research, then you have to publish. This is a very good journal, and you have to keep yourselves and to publish for open access journal. So thank you very much. I thank this opportunity for giving this wonderful forum, and also to thank this organizing committee. Thank you.